Today I am going to teach you figure of speech of the poem All the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare. Class 12 English Unit 3 Samacheer Kalvi. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women are merely players. They have their exist and their entrances, and one man in his lifetime plays many parts, his acts being seven ages. All the world's a stage. The poet makes indirect comparison between world and stage. Therefore, the figure of speech is metaphor. And all the men and women merely players. The poet makes indirect comparison between all the men and women to players of the stage. Therefore, the figure of speech is metaphor. And all the men and women are merely players. The initial sound of the words men and merely is repeated. Therefore, the alliterated words are men and merely. They have their exits and their entrances. The poet makes indirect comparison between birth and entrances to death and excess. Therefore, the figure of speech is metaphor. And one man in his lifetime plays many parts. The poet makes indirect comparison between life and action. Therefore, the figure of speech mentioned in the line is metaphor. And one man in his lifetime plays many parts. The initial sound of the words man and many is repeated. Therefore, the alliterated words are man, many. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arm, then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. And shining morning face, creeping like a snail. The poet directly compares the unwilling slow movement of the schoolboy to movement of the snail, using the comparative word like. Therefore, the figure of speech is a simile. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress' eyebrow. And then the lover, sighing like a furnace with a woeful ballad. The poet directly compares the sighing of the lover to the furnace, using the comparative word like. Therefore, the figure of speech is a simile. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and beard like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. Then a soldier full of strange oaths and beard like the pard. The poet directly compares the courageous soldier to the courageous leopard, using the comparative word like. Therefore, the figure of speech is a simile. Sudden and quick in quarrel. Initial sound of the words quick and quarrel is repeated. So the alliterated words are quick, quarrel. Seeking the bubble reputation. Reputation is indirectly compared with bubble. Reputation is bubble is short-lived. Reputation is short-lived. So the poet indirectly compares the reputation with bubble. Therefore, the figure of speech is metaphor. The sixth age shifts into lean and slippered pantaloon with spectacles on nose and pouch on side. His youthful horse well saved a world too wide. For his strong shang and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes, and whistles in his sound. His youthful host well saved a world too wide. Initial sound of the words world and wide is repeated. The alliterated words are world wide. For his shrunk shang and his big manly voice turning again toward childish treble pipes. The figure of speech mentioned in the line is personification. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything. Sans repeated. Therefore, the figure of speech is repetition.